out. You know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life.
I'm ready to go.
This and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga. This a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara. Here go a clash for you, my nigga.
You want to put it? Psalms 144.
The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers. He got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out. I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing. Sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a damn sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fit. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like bad pal. But ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. They try to deal death to a priest. You won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand. Just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times and it's death do us part. No. So how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fucking raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. And pump smoke, never tried over it. They dead at home, my brother feeling dead. It's all I don't. The photo salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. Like, how you stay focused? I told him I'm motivated because of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and women still got business on the seat. Now, I never do my niggas like Bishop did right here. Never mind, you don't believe. They under 18. Shorty say she leaving, say she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. So, how you feel about this truth I done show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
Shalom. We are here at another Friday night at the headquarters of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Damn right. Give it up for the class. We're here in Harlem. We've been here in Harlem. We started out at 1 West 125th Street, and we holding it down under Commander General Yohana, teaching our people the truth out of these scriptures. That you are the so-called, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true people of God, the chosen people of God, the Israelites of the Bible. That's right. And every Friday night, we get online and we take back our culture. We take back the language that's been taken from us, that's been bastardized, manipulated, twisted, taken and turned into something else. And we take it back to the scriptures and reclaim our language. And we do that first and foremost by learning the basics. And the basics are, of course, knowing the alphabet, knowing both the ancient alphabet and the so-called Assyrian alphabet that we learned in captivity. That Assyrian alphabet is important because that's what the scriptures are preserved in. And that's what we're able to open up this Tanakh and read from the Hebrew out of. And so hopefully, we've been stressing lately that everybody should be caught up on those. If you're not, take your Hebrew sheet. If you don't have one, drop it in the chat. We'll get you one. If you don't have one and you're watching this after we're live, we'll get you one. Drop it in the comments, whatever you need. And you take that, you write it over and over, go over it, say the sounds out loud. Before you know it, you'll know it like the back of your hand. Much more quickly than you imagine. Though it may seem intimidating. Though it may seem intimidating to learn 2 whole new alphabets, you'll get it much more quickly than you can even fathom once you get over that and apply yourself. And so we're going to start today by going over Psalms 121. Psalms 121 is a psalm that we say as a prayer every Sabbath service. But today we're going to go deeper into it. We're going to examine it in the Hebrew. We're going to break down what it means, and we're going to learn phrase by phrase the language, the Hebrew language behind Psalm 121, and what we're really saying when we're sending these prayers up to the Most High. Because this Psalm 121 is a psalm that's been used by our people for praise for thousands of years, going back thousands of years. And we're going to find out more about it. So, Trooper, you ready to write?
Okay.
Let's get started. Let's get this first phrase up on the board. Psalms 121, if you open it up, has a heading, a title. It says a song, in the King James, it says a song of degrees. And that word degrees can also be translated ascents. Now, if you look that word up in the Hebrew, we're going to find out that word is ma'ailawath. And the brother's going to write it on the board here in just a moment. Now, that word ma'ailawath means to go up. And every time the word to go up comes up in the scriptures, they're talking about going up to Jerusalem. Going up to Jerusalem for the feast days, going up to Jerusalem to do sacrifices. And so this is a song to be sung when our people were traveling to Jerusalem to celebrate the feast days of the Most High. And so this is a beautiful thing, a glorious thing that we get to learn and use as a prayer to this day. Whenever you're ready.
Can I start with the ancient alphabet?
Yeah.
You have it?
Yeah, go ahead. So the brother's going to write the ancient alphabet on the board as an extra, drilling it in, because it's good to practice, and it's important that we know these in and out. And the more that you write it, if you take a few minutes every day and you do this, and you say these letters out loud, as you do it, it will be in no time. You'll know this back and forth. And one way that helped me learn it is the way that Officer Hazahab always breaks down the pictographical aspect behind the ancient characters. These ancient characters all represent a thing. And that thing in Hebrew, just learning the alphabet gives you a head start with a vocabulary. If you learn that this letter, this A, signifies a cow's head, which a cow is a lot in the Hebrew, you're already learning words. So run it down from A to shout.
Abba, Gada, Ha, Waza, Kata, Ya, Kala, Manasa, Taza, Kwara, Shata.
Excellent. Now, do you remember what each of them represent?
A is the Alaf, the cow.
Right. What about the Ba?
Balaf, the tent.
Bayath, which is
Bayath.
tent or house.
Gamel,
Which is
the camel.
a camel that represents a camel's hump. The Da,
Doth,
the Laf.
Balaf,
And what is it?
the door.
That is a door. That's, if you can imagine a tent, that's the door to the tent. The Ha,
Hana,
which is
behold.
behold. It's like a hand gesturing, behold. The Wa, Wawa is this is a fish hook. You can visualize the fish being stacked on this hook at the top. Za is what?
Zion,
Zayon, which is what?
weapon.
A weapon. Ka, Kama,
It's the fence.
it is a fence.
Something.
I'm gonna have to double check this. Ta
The basket.
is a basket. Tana'a. Ya
It's the hand.
is your yad is your hand. Ka,
Your palm.
because it looks like a palm, right? This is your kop, is your palm. La,
Lamad.
lamad, which is what?
Learn.
And why? What does this represent? Think of it as this is like a cane that you're gonna get beat with, because that's how you learn when you're growing up. Ma.
Water.
My yum is water. Na.
Nasak.
This is no one, which is what?
Sprout.
Right. You can see this going into the ground.
Sa.
Which is?
Cyan.
No. What does it represent?
I don't remember.
Think about it for a moment. What does it look like? Does this look like a banner you place in the ground? With a flag? This is established. You can imagine a flag or banner on this top.
I never understood that one.
Yeah?
Establish.
This is, I mean, when you place your flag somewhere,
It means
you're establishing your,
Okay. Establish.
you're establishing your territory, your dominance. It's samak. And what is this?
I.
Which is in the Hebrew? Ayan. What is this?
Pa. The mouth.
Your pa is your mouth. This is ah.
Za is the side.
What's the full word?
Tanah.
Tazad.
Tazad.
Qua.
Is the rise.
Which is something we
Sun.
say all the time. Well, yeah, but what's the full Hebrew word?
Oh.
Something we say all the time.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Well, I can't give you it without giving it to you. Kwam. Kwam Yasha'ala.
Quam. Okay.
Ra. What's the Ra?
Rash, the head.
Ra'ash, which is the head. What's the Shah?
Shah is the teeth.
Your teeth are your shun. And the Tha is what?
Da is the mark.
All right, excellent. And that is the ancient Hebrew alphabet. And that is an excellent way to learn and to expand your vocabulary at the same time. So, now, let's get started. Do you remember from last week, in last week's excellent class, we went over the Hebrew names of every book in the Old Testament. So, what is the book of Psalms called?
Shayar La Ma'alawath.
No, that is the heading on Psalm 121. What is the name of the book of Psalms? The Holium, which means praises. So at the top, the Holium 121.
The Hall. Yum.
Yep. Now you're mixing up alphabets.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was mixing both here.
It's all right. This is how we. That's a sign that you've been practicing both your alphabets.
I'm going to combine the alphabets here. Okay. Can I write the other alphabet underneath it?
Yes, we want both of them.
That would help me. Let's see.
And everybody who's not familiar or caught up with the Assyrian, you should be practicing, you should be writing this alphabet on your own. You can also, this is something that you can pull up your interlinear and see the characters and practice reading it. You can, download the keyboard on your phone and practice typing it. There's a lot of things that you can do with the Assyrian script to practice it and to learn it. And remember, the brother, anytime you see the brother writing a second character underneath, that is the form of that letter that you use if the word ends in that letter. That's an easy mistake to make when you're just learning. Just remember those. You got to remember those. There's only, I think, 6 of them. You got to remember those letters that have a different form when the letter comes at the end of a word. We'll see examples of this as we go through Psalms 121. Excellent. As you can see, the brother has written the Assyrian letters directly underneath their letters in the ancient script. The A, Ba, Ga, Da, Ha, Wa, Za, Cha, Ta, Ya, Ka, La, Ma, Na, Sa, I, Pa, Ta, Za. Go ahead. There's the Kwa. Excellent. Now,
So what are we doing now?
we'll start with the heading here.
A song of accents?
Yes. So again, this heading, which is translated into English in the King James, a song of degrees. But in other places, you might see the word ascent. This is the word for going up, which is a term that our people used in reference to traveling to Jerusalem, whether it's for a high holy day, whether it's to go up to the temple and sacrifice, what have you. Whenever our people made a travel to Jerusalem, they referred to it as going up. And so these psalms are about 6 or 7 psalms that have this title, Shayar Lama'alawath. This is a song of going up, a song of degrees in the King James. Yeah, keep going.
I screwed this up. A little better.
Okay. So again, we're going to break this down phrase by phrase. So what does this say here? These two words together.
I will lift up.
In English. I mean in Hebrew.
Oh. Asha. Ayanya.
So every time we start this prayer on the Sabbath service, Asha'a Ayanya are the first two words that we utter. Asha'a Ayanya. This word Asha'a comes from the root word. Remember, when we're breaking down Hebrew, we're looking to find the root word. Because once we do that, with an example like this, on the Iowaf, we can already start to break things down. What could you do? What would you notice here immediately? What's the first thing you would notice on Lama Iowa? The La, right? What does that La mean?
Of.
La means of? Two. When you say La Yash'Allah, saying to Israel. That La is two. And if we were to break this down, Ma'ayla would be the root word, which is to go up. Now, we're not going to get too deep into the grammar. We'll go into more as we go through this. But we're always looking for that root word that forms the core of a word that we can break down plural, possessives, prepositions, and everything else we'll find baked into that word. So with Asha'a Ayanya, this word here is Nasha'a. The A at the beginning of the word is saying I. Saying I will lift up. Asha'a. And what did we just say Ayun is? Ayun is your I. So Ayunya is pluralizing. Asha'a Ayunya, I will lift up mine eyes. And write that in the write the English underneath it. Just as one phrase, I will lift up mine eyes. Okay. Now go ahead, keep going. Al-Hahari. What can we identify here?
Ha is the.
Ha is the, what else?
Har Yum would be hills.
Haryam would be hill, because what is Har?
Hill.
Well, more specifically mountains. Har is a mountain, but of course, it can be, it's anything from a hill on up, depending on the context. Here, this is a song, it's poetic. To say, I'll lift up my eyes to the hills. But a har is mountain. So har yum, of course, is mountains. This is how you pluralize. So har yum. This is another excellent example of breaking a word down into its root word, the preposition that represents the ending that represents the plural. And so now al yum is to the hills. Keep going. Perfect. Now we're going to pause here again. What does this say in Hebrew, this phrase? Let's read that together.
From where?
In Hebrew.
Mayan. Yaba'a. Isaiah.
Ma'yan Yaba'a Isaiah. What can we identify here?
Ma''s the from.
The ma is the from. That ma is a preposition meaning of or from. Ma'ayan is from whence. That's that ayan in this context. Same word, different meaning. That happens in English too, right? That's that same word that we just used for I, but ma'ayan is from whence. Yaba'a, do we know what this means?
Comes.
Bawa'a is come. Ba'a is given the instruction to come. Yaba'a is cometh. Isaiah is what?
My help.
I help, because Izar is the word for help. And what does that ya on the end do?
Makes it possessive. My.
That ya on the end is my. From whence cometh my help. Ma'ayan yaba'a Isaiah. Continue. The next three words.
So this will be verse 2.
Yes.
Isaiah. Ma'ayin. Yahweh.
Yep. What is this word Isaiah?
Help.
Try to push your memory. This is the last word we used. So Izar is help, and the ya is
My.
the possessive indicating my. Ma'ayin Yahweh is what? Can you fill, just using context, can you fill in those blanks?
I'm from.
Ma'ayin is from. I'm is a word that can usually mean with or from or among, things of that nature. The word ma'ayin is a way of saying from, but connecting it to a person, an individual, an entity, from the Most High. Isaiah ma'ayin Yahweh, my help coming from the Lord. Next three words.
Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza.
Excellent. Write it down. Excellent. All three of these are common words we've been using a lot lately. Can you recall these off the top of your head? It's okay if you can't, but try.
Who made?
Aisha, this is an excellent word. This is one of my personal favorite words right here. This is the word for. This is the word. It's in the most simple way you can put it is to do. This is the word to make, to create, to do a thing. Aisha. Shemayim is what?
Heaven.
Heaven. Now, how does that break down? Can you break down the root word behind that and how it works? Because a lot of the words in Hebrew, even standalone words, you can break those down into their root words and understand the etymology of it. You know, if you try to understand the etymology of an English word, you're going to be going in mazes back to German and all types of stuff. But our language is straightforward. Shah is a preposition meaning what? Do we remember? This is pertaining to. And Mayam is what? We know this.
Water.
This is water. So heaven is a word that essentially means pertaining to the waters. Because we're talking about the waters above, the atmosphere, the vapors, the atmosphere that's above us. When we look up, there's waters in different forms. When we go to Genesis, the Most High separated the waters. Matter of fact, let's go to that real quick, just so we understand the origin of the word for heaven. Genesis 1:6, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And Shemayim, or heavens, is the waters above the firmament. Now, we know this word by now, right? Arataza is earth or land. And of course, the wa is what? And. So this phrase here, Aisha Shemayim wa Arataza. So these are the first two verses. Let's run that through again. This beginning, Shayar Lama Ilawaf, is what? Song of degrees, or song of going up. La Ma'ilawaf. And then, as we start in the prayer, Asha'a Ayunya is what? Asha'a, I will lift up, Ayunya, my eyes, plural. Asha'a Ayunya, I will lift up my eyes. Al-Haharyu. If you know, har is one of the most basic words you can remember, the word for mountain. Al-ha-haryu. The ha, of course, being the yum pluralizing it, to the hills. Asha'ayanya al-haharim. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. Ma'ayan, which we just broke down, the ma, which is from. Ayan is where or whence. Ma'ayan, yaba'a, Isaiah. Ba'a is a basic word for come, to come. Ba'a is how you tell somebody to come. Ma'ayan, yaba'a, Isaiah. From whence cometh my help? Isaiah. Ma'ayan, yaba'a, Isaiah. From whence cometh my help? Isaiah, my help. Ma'an Yahweh. Isaiah, Ma'an Yahweh. From my help cometh from the Most High. Aisha, Shemayim Waratzah, who made, because Aisha is to create, to create a thing, to make. Aisha, Shemayim Waratzah, who made heaven and earth. You gonna be able to squeeze another verse in there? Probably not.
Probably not.
All right, let's wipe that down. Now, verse 3 in the English, where we're going to pick this up, is he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. So what does it mean when it says he will not suffer thy foot to be moved? True, but what does that mean?
Will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
When you read the word suffer in the Bible, it's allow. Think of it in the context like if you're allowing something negative, you're suffering it to happen. You're allowing it, but in a negative way. He's not going to allow your foot to be moved. What does that mean? Your foot being moved.
I don't know.
Okay, we're going to find out this Hebrew word for move.
We're on Genesis 121 verse 3.
Psalms 121 verse?
Psalms 121 verse 3.
Yeah, go ahead. The first 4 words.
Al Yathan Lamawat Ragalaka.
Absolutely. Al Yathan Lamawat Ragalka. This will be the first phrase in verse 3.
We got a question from Martilo de Guerra. Is Mapakaza to become like weak?
To become what?
To become like weak.
All right, let's go. We'll go over that in just a second, brother. Okay, excellent. Read this in the Hebrew one more time.
Khan. Al Yathan Lamawat Ragalaka.
Al Yathan Lamawat Ragalka, which is In the English, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. What is the al here?
Not.
This is not. This is, now in the next verse, we're gonna see la'ah for negating a word, which is what we're more used to using, right? La'ah to negate something. Al is when you use what the white man calls the jussive tense, which is a crazy word just to say that you are saying what's going to happen, what you're going to do. You could be either giving a command, but you see here in this sense, it's saying he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. And so that's what we're going to see when we use al instead of la'ah to negate something. So we have al yathun. What is yathun?
He will.
Yathun is suffer. It is based on the word nothun, which is to give. And so in this case, the way you connect that, he's not allowing this. He's not allowing the thing. He's not giving to the verb here, which is lamawat, to be moved. Now, can we break that down? What do we recognize out of this word?
Which one?
Lamawat.
Last two.
Right. So we can take that out. That is the two. Mawat is the move. Now this word mawat is not the typical word for move. This is a word that only comes up 6 times in the scriptures. And it is translated in various places as a yoke, a pole, a beam. This is talking about steadiness. The Most High is going to keep your foot steady. It's not going to be moved off its course. You're praying for your foot not to be moved from where you need it to be. And regalka is, of course, what?
That would be your.
Your foot. Al yathun lamawat regalka. Not suffer to be moved your foot. Al yathun lamawat regalka. Let's keep going. The next 2 words.
Al Yanawam.
The next 3 words. Select. Al yanawam shamarka.
Shamaraka.
And shamarka, we're going to keep shamar as a key word because we're about to see this word a lot through the rest of this song. What is shamar? We all know this, right? What's shamar?
Watch.
To watch or to keep or to protect, to guard. Shamar. And all throughout this prayer, we're praying for the Most High's protection. So now, focus for a second. Now we know enough here to fill in any blanks. We know what this means, right?
No.
Al is negating. We know what this is, right?
Shamarka. Watch your.
Okay, close enough. We'll get into it. So now, what is Yanawam? He that keepeth thee shall not what?
Slumber.
Slumber. And again, that Al, because it's saying shall not slumber. Al Yanawam Shamarka, which is your protection, your guard, your keeper. He that keepeth thee is all encapsulated in this short word here. Shamarka, your protection. He that keepeth thee. So now, is that all of verse? That is all of verse 3. Al Yathanam Awat Regalka, Al Yanawam Shamarka. Al Yathan will not allow or suffer Lamawat to be moved, Regalka, your foot. Al Yanawam shall not slumber, Shamarka, he that keepeth thee. Al Yathan Lamawat Regalka, Al Yanawam Shamarka. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee shall not slumber. Do we have room for verse 4? Let's see. Yeah. We got room for verse 4.
Psalm 121, verse 4. Hana la'a yanawam wala'a.
So let's start with the first 3 words. Hanala ayatawam. And this is saying that the Most High is your protector and he does not sleep. The Lord is the one true power on the earth. And unlike all the false idols that are worshipped all over the planet, that y'all remember Elijah mocking in 1 Kings, asking if they were sleeping, if they was off somewhere doing something, if they were busy, or if they were asleep. Because the Most High, the true power, the only entity to be worshipped does not sleep. And so this whole verse is a song of praise to the Most High, asking for his protection by saying our protector never sleeps. So now, Hana la'a yadawam. Hana is what?
Behold.
Behold. We learned that when we learned the ancient alphabet and expanded our vocabulary instantly. Hana is behold. La'a yanawam is what?
Not.
It's the same word from right here, yanawam, but it was al yanawam. He shall not sleep. Now we're saying he does not sleep. La'a yanawam. Continue. Wala'ah Yayashan Shalmar Yasha'ala. We'll separate this as well. Wala'ah Yayashan. Actually, just write the Yayashan over here. What is Wala'ah?
Or?
Wa is what?
And?
And La'ah is what?
Not.
Yayashan is the word for sleep. It says he will neither slumber nor sleep. Because of course, we can describe the same thing in different degrees. Slumber is like, you're just sleepy, you're just getting a good night's sleep. But sleep in our language can also mean what else?
Rest.
No, sleep in our language can also mean death. That was a way, a metaphorical way of saying that somebody died, they slept. If you go through the scriptures, we'll pull some examples up. When you go through the scriptures, they'll say that a brother slept. And that was referring to death because the spirit was at rest. Wala'ah Yayashan. Shalmar Yasha'ala is what?
And he who keeps.
Shalmar is watching, because we've spoken a little bit about what a wa in the middle of a word does to it. It changes the tense into something active, right? That's why we don't say shalom when you're greeting somebody. That's something different. Shalomar is watching. Yasha'ala is, of course, Israel. And just to give a quick precept, Psalms 13:3 says, "Consider and hear me, O Lord my God. Lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death." And in Jeremiah 51:39, "In their heat I will make their feast, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep and not wake, saith the Lord." So sleep in our language can refer to death. So this is like saying the Most High, he's not going to sleep and he's certainly not going to die because he is always watching Israel. Shalmar Yasha'ala.
So watching was translated to keep it. Keep it.
Yeah, so keepeth, in the King James, this is keepeth. And you can break down shamar as keep, protect, keep in this context, like keep actively, like you're keeping something sound. You're protecting, you're keeping them in the state they're supposed to be in. Shalmar Yasha'ala, keepeth is the active way of watching. It's the same thing. It's just two different words. You can think of shamar as keep, watch, protect, guard. All those words are valid translations of shamar because they all mean the same thing essentially. So now that was verse 4, verse 3 and 4. Aliyathan lamawat regalka, not suffer to be moved thy foot. Aliyathan, not slumber. Shamarka, he that keepeth thee. Shamarka, your keeper, your protector. Hana la'ah yanawam, behold, not slumber la'ah yanawam, while la'ah yayashan, and not sleep. Shalmar Yasha'al, he that keepeth Israel. Questions before we erase this? All right. That is verse 3 and 4. Let's keep it rolling. Verse 5 in the English is, the Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. So we established what it means to keep. What does it mean when it says that the Most High is thy shade upon thy right hand? What does that mean, Super?
Ask me all these hard questions.
Yes.
I don't know.
We're here to challenge you. Shade upon thy right hand. Shade, what does shade do for you?
Gives you cover.
Gives you cover. It gives you cover. It gives you, what does it do for you on a hot day?
Close you off.
Cools you off by doing what? To keep with the theme of this song. It protects you, right? From the heat. Shade protects you from the heat, does it not? If you find shade under a tree, you're not being scorched by the sun. So the Most High is your shade. Upon thy right hand. Your right hand represents, even though, as y'all can see out there, I'm left-handed, your right hand represents your dominant hand. It represents your strength. It represents what you do. And so if the Most High is with your right hand, he is strengthening you. He's giving you the strength to accomplish what you're doing. I'm going to give a precept for that real quick as the trooper writes this on the board. In Psalm 73 and 23 says, nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. In Psalm 16 and verse 8 says, I have set the Most High always before me, because he is at my right hand, I shall not be moved. So the Most High being at your right hand represents the Lord strengthening you, and that's what is being asked for in Psalm 121. Shade and upon thy right hand, protection and strength.
General Alawak says he on point.
Shalom to the general, the water general. Okay, what do we have so far? All right, pause for a second. So this will be our first phrase in this word, in this verse, Salakia. Read this in the Hebrew real quick. Just these first two words.
Yahweh Shamarka.
So we know this by now, right? Without even thinking, we should know this. Break it down.
Oh, it said Shamar's watch.
Shamar is watch, keep, protect. Ka is what? Your. Keep going. Actually, write that on this side, because this is going to be the next phrase. So the next two words here, Yahweh Tazalka. And that word Tazal is the word for shade. And so Tazalka is what? Your shade, right? Yahweh Shemarka, Yahweh Tazalka. The Lord is your, let me make sure I use the King James language. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade. Keep going. Al Yad Yom Yonka. What do we recognize here right off the bat?
The yad is the hand.
The Yad is your hand. So now what can we fill in with context?
The kaz for your.
Kaz is yours.
The aisle, the at.
Keep going.
The yama yan is right.
Simple, right? And that's an excellent example of how the more you expand your vocabulary with very, very basic words like Yad, you start to be able to fill in the context as you read. This aisle is a word that we're going to see a lot. It's a very common word that can have, various meanings depending on the context. Here this would be the upon thy right hand. It can also be at, it can be on, over, unto, against. But here this is upon thy right hand. Let me, just for clarity, use the King James language everywhere here. Continue.
Next verse.
Is that the end of the verse? Yes. The first two words of verse 6. Actually, the first four words.
Yo. Yawamam. Hasham Mash. La'a. Yakakaka.
Yo, Mum Hashamash La'a Yakaka. Go ahead. Okay, let's break this down. Yo, mom, does this sound like anything we know? What is your woman?
Day.
Your woman's day. This is by day. Hashamash. What can you break down from this?
The
How's the? So what is Shamash?
sun.
The sun. La'ah is what?
Not
And what is Yakaka?
strike you.
The sun and smite. That Yakaka is from the root word Nakah, which is to strike. Nakah is to strike or smite. Yomum Hashamash La'ayakaka, the sun shall not smite thee by day. Continue. There's two more words in the verse.
Wayarak. Allah Yala.
By the way, that word Nakah, get used to that word. That's an excellent word, smite. That comes up in the Bible over 500 times. There's a lot of smiting in the Bible. And here, when we send up these prayers, we're praying that the Most High protects us, and we're also praying that the Most High smites our enemies. But this song here is all about protection. It's all about asking the Most High to protect and keep and watch over us. So now we have these two verses, Yahweh Shemarka, Yahweh Tazalka, which is the Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade, Al Yad Yom Yunka, upon thy right hand, Yawamum Hashamash La'ayakaka, by day the sun shall not smite thee. Why your rock? Now what is this? What can we break down here?
Was the end.
The wise end. What is your rock?
Moon.
Now what is Belilah? In, or in this context, by. And Layala is night. Yomum Hashamash La'ayakaka, Wayarak Balayala. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. This was verse 6 to 7, right?
Verse 6.
6. Okay, 5 and 6. This is 5 and 6. Yahweh Shemarka, Yahweh Tazalka, Aliyah Yom Yunka, Yawmon Hashamash La'ayakaka, Wayrach Balayla. And I'm stressing this phrase by phrase so that something that we say every week, a prayer that we say every Sabbath service twice, we can start to think of like a language. Think of this the way that we think in English. When we start to do that, we're really taking back our language. When you start to hear, as you're saying this out loud, you're not just hearing words, you're hearing phrases. Yahweh Shemarka, Yahweh Tazalka, Aliyah Yunka, Yawmon Hashemash Ayakaka, Wayrach Balayla. When we really start putting these phrases together, which is, we're showing you how easy it is once you build that basic vocabulary up. And there's a lot of basic words in there that keep coming up. Shamar. Layala is a word we'll see a lot. Shamash, which is son, we'll see a lot. There's a lot of basic words that keep coming up that if you get to know these words, you can start filling in the blanks in your mind a lot easier. All right, let's clear this off. And the last two verses. And before we breeze by that, what does it mean? We know what the sun smiting you by day is. Obviously, you out walking on an extremely hot, sunny day. But what is nor the moon by night? What do you think that means? How can the moon smite you at night? What changes does the moon go through?
The phases of the moon?
Yeah, so sometimes it's brighter, and sometimes it's not giving off any light at all, right? So if the moon, when you need that light at night, if it's not there, that can mess you up. But the Most High, of course, in control of all things, the Most High can protect you from the sun, from the moon at night. In Psalm 91, verse 5 says, "Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night." Why would you be afraid for a terror specifically at night if you can't see it? Nor for the arrow that flies by day, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. So one constant throughout the Psalms is constantly asking the Most High for protection. That's why these prayers are so important.
Basically, whether it's daytime, it's nighttime, we are under the Most High's protection.
Exactly. And now in verse 8 and 9, in the English.
Are we on verse 7?
Yes, 7 and 8, Salaka. Verse 7 and 8, the Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Now we asking the Most High to preserve us from all evil. I mean, that's the core of protection, right? Asking the Lord to protect us, to whether it's avoiding the evil or being able to conquer it. The Most High's protection is the only way that we're going to get through it. Just like when we say to our Father, we're asking the Lord to deliver us from evil. That's a constant all the way back to the Psalms, all through any prayer that goes up. He shall preserve thy soul. When the Most High, the precept for that, Psalm 97 and verse 10, ye that love the Lord hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. So when the Most High is preserving our souls, he's delivering us from evil. And that's what we're asking for in this psalm. And in the Hebrew, that's going to be Yahweh Yashamarka Makal Rai. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. And that's this first. Actually, hold up. Let's stop right there for a second. Yahweh Yashamarka. You know how we can break this down, right?
Kaz the you. Shawar's the watch.
Shamar is the watch. Yahweh shall preserve you. Makal. What do we recognize here?
The calls the all.
The call is the all, and what is ma at the beginning of a word?
Of or from.
Of or from. So from all, what's ra?
Evil.
Evil. Yashamar af nepashka. Break it down for me.
Shamar's the watch. Yah is the he. Af is, it's just a connector.
Right. That af is that. There's no equivalent in English. This is something that connects a verb to its subject. This connects the shamar to napash. What is your napash?
Soul.
That is your soul. And we know that the ka is what makes it your soul. Verse 8. Verse 8 is the Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Now, why is that so heavy? The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Because that is a phrase that is in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, twice. Deuteronomy 28:6 says, blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. But we got the other half of Deuteronomy.
Right.
Because we kept on pushing the Most High's mercy and pushing the Most High's mercy. And Deuteronomy 28 and 19, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. And that's how we live in today in this hell as a people. We're cursed everywhere we go in America. I don't have to explain that. If you live in here, we see that every time we step outside. We've lived that all our lives. And this phrase might sound very basic, but it's so encompassing. And this is something that we need to plead to the Most High to get back on the right side of that. And it's something that we've been saying in prayers for thousands of years. So let's break this phrase down. Yahweh Yashmar Taza'atka is the Most High shall preserve your going out. What can we break down in this word?
is and.
Y is and.
The ka at the end is your.
The ka is your. So now what are we left with? Bawa I. Do we recognize that?
Come.
Come. Ma'aitha.
The ba is the from.
Aitha is just now. Because this is going to be from this time forth. So the Aitha is this time. Well, we know that Y is the end, right? Do we remember what the I is? We went over this a few weeks ago.
Even.
The I is until. There was a scripture, I don't remember what the scripture was a few weeks ago when it was I that will lum your eye. It was basically, that's how you say forever. So until, forever, until. We have an extra way of saying some things for emphasis, but that I is until. I will is what? I just said.
Forever.
Forever.
So this word until, can this also be even? Because that's other King
Yes.
James.
Exactly. Because think about even, it's just saying like even to forever, even forevermore. So it's just something that's directing everything down here. Does that make sense?
Oh, God.
Yahweh Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar Achnapashka, which is what? Yahweh Yashamarka. Salaki, I want to make sure I use the King James phrasing. Pull this back up. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil, because again, Shamar is not only watch, but protect, keep. Anything regarding protection, you can translate as Shamar. So Yahweh shall preserve thee, Yahweh Yashamarka, Makal Rai, from all evil, Makal Rai. Yashamar Afnapashka, he shall preserve thy soul. Afnapashka, Yahweh Yashamar Taza'afka, Yahweh shall preserve thy going out, Taza'af, Wabu'aka, and thy coming in. Ma'aitha, Wa'id, I will lum, from this time forth and even forevermore. So I'll even fix this right here. Ma'aitha is from this time That would be verse 7 and 8. And that is why we pray with Psalm 121. Now, let's see if we can get the whole thing on the board in the ancient script. And anybody watching online, that's what I want you to do. Bust out pen and paper. We're going to write Psalms 121 straight through in the ancient Hebrew script. That's all you.
You erased it.
Oh, your alphabet.
Oh.
It's a lot. And this trooper is doing an excellent job, has been working on his Hebrew, and these are the fruits of his labor. He's able to write these things comfortably. And everybody out there watching, that's all you got to do is put in the work, and this comes naturally. It comes easily. This is our language. This is our culture, and this ancient script more so.
Psalms 121:1 in the ancient.
Yes, everything. See if you can fit everything on the board, 1 through 8.
Okay.
And we're going to see how glorious this is going to look at the end when this entire psalm is up on the board in the ancient Hebrew. And everybody watching should be doing the same. For the brother in the comments who asked about Mapatazah, I'm going to look into that word to see if I can get you a thorough answer on that. Stick around. But to my awareness, it would not mean that. But I'm gonna figure out, why you asked that and what there is in that word, and we'll be back with an update on that. Jeremiah 51:20 is, so there are two entries from Mapatazah in the Strongs. Jeremiah 51:20, thou art my battle axe. That word battle axe is Mapatazah. And then there's a Mapatazah that is Ezekiel 9:2. which is a slaughter weapon. So this word in this case is slaughtering. So, brother, you're gonna have to explain where you got that from, and then maybe I could look more into it. But those are the only two instances of the word mapatazah in the Bible. Okay, let's see what we got so far.
That's the first verse.
Excellent. Look at this. This looks glorious already. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is our alphabet right here. Remember that first phrase at the beginning, we don't say in the prayers, that's a heading, which is Shayar Lama'alawath, which is a song of degrees in the King James. It means it's a song that we used in the ancient times when we were going up to Jerusalem. Remember, every time there was a high holy day, we were all commanded to go up to Jerusalem and celebrate it there. And there was other times in the year that people would travel to Jerusalem, to the temple, to sacrifice, or for various reasons. So there's a lot of times, that was a major part of our life in the ancient times, was making these journeys up to Jerusalem. And on these journeys, these were some of the songs that we would sing in those ancient times. This is a beautiful thing that we still to this day say this as a prayer every Sabbath service. And that's why you should tune into the Sabbath service in the morning, or pull up in whatever city you're in to the Sabbath service, get into the ancient culture, read from the Hebrew, pray in the Hebrew. This is your culture. Get down with it. Get to your school and your zone and observe the Sabbath service with us. It's a beautiful and a glorious thing to send these prayers up week after week for our protection, for the destruction of our enemies. Yeah. Pull up. It's lit. Shayar, Lama'alawath, Ash'a'ayanya, Al-Haharyam, Ma'ayan, Ba'a, Isaiah Ma'an Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim Wa'aratazah. Continue.
Verse 3.
As the brother writes this on the board, I'll read through this one more time in the Hebrew or in the English. Such an important scripture for us to know. It's important that we know what we're saying. That we're not just going through the motions when we say these prayers in the Sabbath service. Especially in the Hebrew, that we know what we're saying when we say it in the Hebrew. This is Psalms 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. And look at this. That's what I love to see. Nothing but the ancient Hebrew characters. Nothing else. No English characters, no Assyrian characters. This right here is beautiful. Verse 3, Aliathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Alianwam, Shamarka. Continue.
Al-Khan, verse 4.
This is glorious. This is how we make progress. This is how we push ourselves. You know, look, listen. The English transliterations are important. You know, it's a step, right? But we got to get away from them at some point. I want to open up a binder and see this and read this as a prayer. And we reach that point by continuing to push ourselves towards more and more progress. Cannot be intimidated by reading in another alphabet, by reading in another script. You can't be intimidated by anything. Whatever it is, you just do it. And after you keep doing it, it's second nature. If you do it enough, you do it without thinking. Now, verse 4, Ana la'a, yum yum, yanawam, wala'a, ya yashan, yashamar, yasha'ala, or shawmar, yasha'ala. Continue.
Al-Khan, verse 5. Okay.
How is shamar? A very important phrase. Which by this point in class, I shouldn't have to translate. Howard Tazalka. What's Tazalka? You remember?
Your shade.
Yes. Keep going. I didn't mean to throw you off.
Come on, man.
Doing an excellent job. You are doing an excellent job. Keep going. This is impressive. Everybody out there should aspire to be at this ability level. This is beautiful. This is how we make progress. And doing something like this is also how you drill the alphabet in if it's not 100% locked in. Would you say you're not quite 100% locked in to it? And so this is how you get 100% locked in, doing something like this.
Ready for verse 6?
Yep. Keep going, knock it out. Our time is ticking away. Where are we at? 8:57? Sloppy, sir.
Come on.
We're gonna leave off. Tazalka, Aliyad, Yamyunka. Your shade, Aliyad, on your hand, Yamyunka, your right. Literally, this is hand, this is your right. The possession is here. Aliyad, Yamyunka. Remember, Yawamum Hashemash. The Yawamum is by day. Remember that the day, the Yawam, or the Yam here in the middle, is being a root word. Yawamum Hashemash, the sun by day, La'a Yakaka, will not smite you. While you rock the moon and the moon, while you rock Balayala by night. Let me know whenever you got here. Go up, go up, go up.
Just finish what you're doing.
Count. Again, at the top, keep going over different phrases. Asha'a ayunya. Your ayun is your eye. Ayunya, plural. Asha'a. The eye is saying I will lift up my eyes. Al-Hahari. to the hills. Asha'ayanya al-Hahari. I'll lift up my eyes unto the hills. Ma'ayan. Ma'ayan Yaba'a, which remember we said is based on the word Bawa'a, which is to come. Ma'ayan Yaba'a Izariah. From whence cometh my help? Izariah, my help. Izariah, I'm Yahweh. My help coming from the Most High. Izariah, I'm Yahweh. Aisha, Shemayim wa Arataza. Aisha, who made Shemayim wa Arataza, heaven and earth. Keep going.
On verse 8.
Remember, the Al Yathun is he will not suffer. This Yathun is connected to the word Nathun, which is to give. When you suffer something, you're allowing it to happen. You're giving it. Al Yathun, we talked about the use of Al to negate something instead of La'ah. It happens when you're giving a command or something that's going to happen. He will not suffer. Lamawat regalka, your foot, regalka, to be moved. Lamawat. Y'all can see this right here. Al Yanawam Shamarka. Al Yanawam, he will not slumber. Shamarka is your keeper. He that keepeth thee shall not slumber. Hana, we know is behold. Hana La'ah Yanawam. Wala'ah Yayashan. Shomar Yasha'ala. Behold, La'ah Yanawam is not slumber, while La'ah Yayashan not sleep. Shomar Yasha'ala. Continue. Oh, is that everything?
That's 8.
Excellent. Excellent. Just put the Holium 121 at the top. The Holium, which is Psalms, in the Hebrew, which is the word for praises. The Holium.
The.
Yeah, the.
Ha, you said? The Halium?
Right.
The Ha.
Allah.
La.
The Yah.
M.
Yeah.
The Halium?
121. And there you have it. This is Psalms 121 in the ancient Hebrew. This is glorious. We in here at headquarters taking back our culture, taking back our ancient Hebrew, which the Most High gave to our forefathers and was over the years bastardized by our oppressor. Here at headquarters, here in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we take it back. And with that, we'll pass the class over to Priest, officier 100,000, Yatazar.
Jesus Christ. Speaking Creole and everything. He said 5,000. Shalom Israel. This is the ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, verses 8 to 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'aishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you will like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of Purim, which is going to be Thursday, February 23rd, and Friday, February 22nd, Friday, February 23rd. All right. Make sure you check the bulletin board at your school. To contact the school, any brother who would like to be a trooper, start wearing all black, pants, shirt, headband, boots, and any sister who would like to be a sister in school, contact the camp leader near your location. Go to isupk.com. All right, make sure you get in touch with a camp leader near your zone. With that, men of Israel, I Majam Shabbat, I Majam Barak, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua Barakatam. To the sisters, Yahweh Shema Alatam Ba'Hashem Yahushua. Yajom Matak, dismiss.